10 Facts About Pele. Amazing facts about Pele you probably didn't know before. 10 interesting facts. Edson Arantes do Nascimento, better known by his football name Pele, is one of the greatest professional football players in history and has a fascinating legacy. In 14 games while competing in the World Cup, he scored 12 goals. He has participated in all 4 World Cups with his team. Brazil was successful in taking home 3 victories in the prestigious sporting event, 1958, 1962, 1970. A 17-year-old first won the World Cup. Pele was prohibited from joining a team outside of Brazil after being deemed a national treasure by the President of Brazil. He was given Thomas Edison as his name. The Brazilian forward, who played as a second striker, holds the record for the most goals ever scored, 1,279 in 1,363 matches for club and country, including friendlies, according to Guinness World Records. He was listed among the top 100 thinkers of the 20th century by Time, an extraordinary achievement for a sports hero. He is considered as one of the all-time great players and is given the FIFA title of the greatest. One of the most successful and well-liked sports figures of all time was Pele. He played inside left forward, striker, for Santos Football Club from 1956 to 1974. His jersey number was 10. He would likely be at the top of a list if there was ever a sports figure to be profiled for some remarkable facts. More games played and goals scored in a career than any other player in soccer history. Here's a list of amazing facts about Pele. 1. Pele is a Brazilian national treasure. On June 29, 1958, Pele led the Brazilian national team to their first ever World Cup victory, making him an overnight sensation. Following that, a number of European teams started courting the up-and-coming talent, including Real Madrid, Juventus, Inter Milan, and Manchester United. In a pretty interesting move, the Brazilian president at the time, Jânio Quadros, designated him a national treasure in 1961 to stop him from being moved to international teams. In his home Brazil, Pele is revered as a national hero and a god. He has inspired thousands, if not millions, of young people to play soccer over the years and is highly renowned for his contributions to the sport all around the world. 2. Pele has scored over 100 hat tricks in football. When a player scores 3 or more goals in a single match, it is known as a hat trick. While no ordinary feat for any player, Pele could manage to score an incredible 129 hat tricks during his career. He has been a prolific scorer throughout his career, but was never pleased with just 1 goal. He had 92 3-goal games, 31 4-goal games, and 6 5-goal games, and once netted 8 goals in 1 single game. 3. Pele's father was a footballer too. Pele was born on October 23, 1940, in Três Carregos, Minas Gerais, Brazil. His father was João Ramos do Nascimento, Dondinho, who was also a footballer, and his mother was Celeste Arantes. He had 2 younger siblings. Pele's father played as a center forward for Atlético Mineiro, Fluminense, and several other small football clubs. Dondinho was not only Pele's father, but was his mentor and trainer, too. 4. There is a Pele Day that is observed in Brazil. Today we will not work because we are going to see Pele. Pele Day is observed in Santos, Brazil, on November 19 each year, to recognize the date of his 1,000th goal. Although not a public holiday, most of its Santos citizens celebrate Pele Day, the anniversary of his 1,000th goal. The historical milestone came in 1969, on his 909th game, in a penalty scored in front of a delirious crowd at the iconic Maracana Stadium. 5. He was born into a very poor family. His father, Dondinho, was a soccer player as well but struggled to earn a stable living while playing the sports. His family was impoverished, and Pele had to work in a local tea shop to earn extra money. To play soccer, Pele had to get creative and practiced his dribbling skills with a sock stuffed with rags. Unable to afford shoes, he frequently played barefoot, and his friends eventually formed a team called the shoeless ones. Later, barefooted games played in vacant lots became known as pelota, believed to be named after Pele. 6. He once played indoor football. In his mid-teens, Pele played indoor football, commonly known as futsal. The game is an association football-based game played on a hard court smaller than a football pitch and is mainly played indoors. Indoor football had just become popular in Bauru when Pele began playing it. He was part of the first futsal competition in the region and he played for a team called Radium. Pele and his team won the first championship and several others. With the ball on the floor being a lot quicker than football on the grass and players being close together, everyone was required to think faster. Pele credits futsal for helping him think better on the spot and being a great footballer. 7. He is a Guinness World Record holder. Pele has 2 world records, those are the most career goals and the most World Cup winners' medals. He is also still the youngest player to score in a World Cup final. What's more remarkable is that he is by far the youngest player to win 2 World Cups. In 1958, Pele became the youngest player to play in a World Cup final match. He was only 17 years and 249 days at the time of playing his first match. He scored 2 goals in that final. He won his second World Cup in 1962 at the age of 21. He holds the Guinness World Record for the greatest number of goals scored by an individual. Pele scored 1,279 goals from September 7, 1956 to October 1, 1977 in 1,363 games. 8. His first contract was $10 a month. At 15 years old, Pele signed his first contract with Santos in 1956, earning just $10 a month. Pele used his pay to buy his mother a gas stove, though their town didn't have piped gas into homes then. Years later, he signed a 3-year $7 million contract with the New York Cosmos in 1975, making him the highest paid team athlete in the world at the time. In 1961, the Brazilian government designated him as a national treasure to prevent him from being taken out of the country by international football clubs. 9. Pele was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II. Pele was given an honorary knighthood in 1997. He strictly cannot use the title Sir until he becomes a British citizen. As a Brazilian citizen, he was not eligible to receive an actual knighthood. If he became a Briton, the honorary knighthood would then become a substantive knighthood. 10. He played both sides for a match between his 2 teams in his final pro game. In October 1977, Pele competed in his final professional game in an exhibition match between the New York Cosmos and Santos FC at New Jersey's Giants Stadium. He played the first half of the game for Santos, scoring 1 goal, and then switched jerseys and played for the Cosmos in the second half. The Cosmos eventually won the match with a final score of 2-1. Some other interesting facts that are worth mentioning here are his appearances in several movies in the 1970s and 1980s. He composed the soundtrack for the film Pele, 1977, as well as other musical pieces.